Hey y'all, welcome to a best of edition of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. These best of editions of the show feature amazing guests and episodes of the podcast you may have missed when they first aired. If you are new to the show, these are those can't miss episodes we really want you to listen to. Or maybe you're a long-time listener. We want to bring these episodes back around for you to enjoy again. Our goal is to bring you our best content every week so you have everything that you need to build a better future for your family. So wherever you are listening today, enjoy this week's best of edition of the Flip Lifestyle Podcast.
Hey y'all, on today's podcast, we help Kevin make a pivot to a new online business.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. Join us each week as we teach you how to flip your lifestyle upside down by selling stuff online. Are you ready for something different? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you, as always, this week. We've got a beautiful sunny day out the window here in Kentucky to podcast, and we are excited because we are welcoming back a former guest and friend of ours, Kevin Depew, a Flip Your Life member who has been on the podcast before, but we have something we've never done happening here on the podcast today. We are going to help someone pivot from one online business idea to another. So Kevin, welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And it was very interesting watching the progression of Kevin's online business since he was on the podcast. What episode was that, Jocelyn?
I think it was 79.
Episode 79. So if you want to check out his first episode to kind of partner with us, go back to fliplifestyle.com/podcast 79. Kevin had an online business that was totally different than where he is today and where he is making progress. So Kevin, tell everyone a little bit about just quickly where you were when we last spoke, and maybe what your avatar was and what you were trying to do. Maybe a couple of the little problems you had with that, and then tell us about your business and your avatar now.
Sure. So that was back in probably January or so, January, February, when I had my first call with you guys. And I was really new. I had started a blog in November 2015, just kind of getting the idea to want to do online business. And at that point, I had come across you guys through, I believe it's through Pat Flynn's podcast. Really felt like you guys were some real folks I could learn from. So I jumped right into the community, and I think I did my phone call with you guys. I was maybe in there a week and a half.
Right.
Yeah. Got an email and said, yeah, I'll talk to people in person about online business. What the heck?
That's right, we will.
At that point, I was doing, the blog was createsometime.com, and it was a tad broad. So let's just say that. The avatar was everyone living in America, basically.
Right.
Which is never a good
literally
thing.
you said that. I'm pretty sure you were like, yeah, I just want to help everybody. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works, man.
I've learned a lot. So at that point, I have strengths in being creative and art, music, that kind of thing. And I'm also really good at time management. I've worked my entire career, 25 plus years, administration, children and families, multiple projects, hiring and training and working with multiple people.
Right.
So it was very broad. That first phone call, we really narrowed down how to choose a more specific avatar, which that was kind of what ended that call, was figuring out a more specific avatar and a more specific problem.
And we really niched down to, you were trying to help older people who had parents, they were caregivers for their older aging parents, and you were going to help them control their time, basically.
Exactly. So we narrowed it down to that demographic and just kind of myself as the avatar and things I've learned from that. And then, took off from there with the blog posts, a lead magnet, time management, the stress and issues that caregivers have. Did some Facebook ads, learned a lot of stuff, and wasn't really gaining any traction. So
Sure.
Through a lot of involvement with you guys, Jocelyn, very, very patient and very helpful. So I will say that for sure.
Yeah, Kevin, we definitely did a lot of soul searching on the old action plans forum. We talked together a lot, I know, and one of the suggestions that, I'm not sure if it was me or another community member had was for you to actually sit down with a person and to see what they were willing to pay for and if they would be willing to pay for something.
Like his avatar, basically.
Yeah, and so I think that you actually did that. And tell us a little bit about that and how that led to changing direction a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, that was in May pretty much. I did meet with about 5 different people face to face and had asked them a couple of questions about how they would like to get content, whether it be a free blog or through a community or through a course. And just found in that topic, there's a lot of stress and a lot of time that people are trying to spend better and take care of themselves. But it was really something they felt like they weren't really jazzed about paying a lot of money for. So, my wife and I are, trying to figure this stuff out. And she's like, you know what? You're creative. You're giving guitar lessons to people. You love music. What about that? That seems a little more concrete. So that was 2 months ago. So since then, that's been the major shift to working on a website that's teaching people how to play the guitar and then moving in the direction of a membership site for that topic.
That's good, man. And like, this is so interesting. Like, when it was time for you to come back on the show, I was fascinated by this because nobody talks about pivoting. Everybody is always just like, chase your dreams, get an idea and hammer it until it works. It takes a lot of courage to pivot, and you did that. And I've seen how much easier the last couple of months was than the first 6 months, because it's just flowed out of you because you're finally kind of hitting your stride. You had been through it once before. You'd created the blog. You'd kind of done all of the growing pain stuff, learning how all this fit together. And it seems like it's been a little bit easier for you to pivot into this new idea where you do seem to be getting like more personal traction in it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I will say, I totally agree with that. And then part of me is like, I'm just not doing this right. You know what I mean? I'm starting to self-doubt and kind of figure out. And I'm a person who kind of, once I get my mind set to it, I'm going to figure it out.
Sure.
I felt like, I can't be completely wrong. Let's just try something else.
Exactly. And that's where most people, I think, really fail at online business. We tried different things before things worked. Most successful people, anybody that you find, whatever they're doing online now, they were not necessarily doing that in the beginning. The beginning was where they had their first ideas and they tried and they learned and they made some mistakes. And eventually you find your way to that idea that does stick, and you know how to act on that better because you figured all the other stuff out. So it's a lot easier, the second or third time to try something, but most people just quit because they start their blog and 2 months later they're not quitting their job. And that's just not how you do it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Kevin, well, let's jump into some questions for today. Let's fast forward a little bit to what you're working on now and what is your biggest challenge right now? I know that you've just started kind of recently, so you have your website up, and I think that you have your opt-in bonus going. Have you had people opt in?
Yeah. And also, to tell everybody your domain name, and then maybe narrow down the avatar a little bit. It's not just all people that want guitars. Who are we speaking to here?
Yes. So the website is relaxandlearnguitar.com. And my avatar is that, I'm going to just say affectionately, the middle-aged person,
right?
Like myself. And recently maybe either empty nester or has some more time to themselves to maybe learn to play for the first time, or maybe they've done that in the past and, life gets in the way, things happen and they want to pick it back up and start again. Looking for ways to, enjoy, maybe have less stress and, just feel better mental health wise by learning an instrument, which I think is a very powerful thing for folks that do that.
That is an awesome avatar. Awesome avatar. Where are you at right now, like Jocelyn said? And then if you want to, go ahead and tell us what your biggest challenge is with this new direction.
Sure. So the website is 1 week old. So I have revamped everything, and you're totally right, man. The second time around, I've got those pieces of like WordPress or Aweber or Lead Pages. I've got that under my belt. So it was just a matter of kind of redoing those things. It didn't take me as long as I thought it would.
For sure.
So I have a website. I've got a blog. There's probably 8 or 9 posts on there. There's a couple of free lessons. There's an opt-in. I did have to learn video because obviously with this avatar, that's going to be huge of how that's going to be delivered.
Sure.
So a little learning curve there, but have a YouTube channel now too. So it's 1 week old. I've not had any new opt-ins, but I have not done any kind of like paid promotion. And that's kind of my first question. Like, I know I need to work on, and I've started just beginning with videotaping those first kind of core membership video series I'm working on.
Sure.
And while I'm doing that, I'm also kind of promoting the website too before there's an actual paid piece to it. What does that look like?
Right, exactly.
So how do I gain traction, I guess?
Well, I think that you do have those first few lessons done. And the big selling point in any membership like this, we find this a lot in a lot of our people who come through that are in the arts or in like teaching music or teaching people how to draw, stuff like that. The powerful thing is going to be not only the community that you build, but working directly with you. Like, people want how-to videos, but there's how-to videos all over the place. I would even argue in your space, what you're doing here, the stuff that goes in an organized fashion inside your community, like you're going to have like lesson 1, lesson 2, start here, go there. That's all going to be inside your membership in a nice, neat, orderly fashion. I think most of your videos you're going to be able to just release on YouTube anyway. And that's going to get you a lot of traction, because just let the videos be free and let people come in and start picking up the guitar and learning from you. And what you're going to offer people is come into the community, record yourself playing, share it. Let me come on as a teacher and record myself telling you what you need to do, or talking in the forums about what you need to do to improve your video. I think that's what you're going to find is more valuable here for the membership, not just the content. You want to get your content out there. You want people to say, dang it, Kevin taught me guitar. You know what I mean? And then, but I want him to help me get better. I want to be around a lot of other empty nesters. I want to be around, 50 to 100 guys that are doing this with me. And we're all doing it together, and I can see where they mess up. I can see what they do, or I can write a song and go share it with them in a safe place. And Kevin can come in and kind of help me along that journey. So I would actually argue if you'll just set your forums up, you're not going to need a ton of content in there. As your content gets out into the world, people are going to start coming there for you. There's even a coaching component to this. One of the fastest ways to make money is to just go one-on-one and do what doesn't scale first. As people discover you, let them just come in, do some Skype lessons, jump on Skype, see them play, help them out. Talk about video 1 that they found, and then move forward into that with them. So you're really a lot closer than you think. You do have a paid product. You've got you.
Okay, that's the shift. There is a lot of competition with a lot of, and in talking in the forums, I operate under the premise that what folks are going to do is be there for the relationship and with myself more so than the actual, because you can get free guitar lessons, you get free lessons on a lot of stuff online.
Yep.
So yeah, that makes sense. So kind of just recapping, I'm releasing the I've done 5 or 6 lessons already that we're going to be in the membership site. Just go ahead and put those on YouTube now and have it lead back to the website. Is that?
Yes, I think that's what you should definitely do. You need some free content out there. You need to be bringing people back to your site so that they can opt in and hopefully join your membership off that.
Like, it doesn't matter how good your lessons are if no one sees them. So like, yeah. And also too, you're going to be able to offer things in your membership later. Like when these people really get down the road with you and invest in you, like they're going to say, teach me something high tech, teach me something awesome. What can I play when I'm on the beach with my grandkids for this vacation this week that's going to impress them? Those are things you can offer in the membership. But like basically right now, you can just say, let it all go, man. Let it all free. Now this is another trick too. Well, it's not a trick. It's like a way to leverage your content. Like things you release for free can be out there, but then you can still use those in a paid area because you're going to organize them and guide people through them in a certain order. That's how you monetize your content. Most of the information, when we give advice on here that we could probably charge for, if we were doing consulting calls, but we let it go out there because information wants to be free and we want people to see that they can come to our membership to get direct help. So that's exactly what you're doing here. Be that guy for these people in public as much as possible, get a following, and then draw them back into your membership where they can get actual one-on-one help.
And that's what they're paying for, is the direct one-on-one help.
And the community and the relationship and, stuff like that. Well, and
you can have other paid content also. Like you don't have to release every single thing that you make,
right? But
you need enough out there so that people can discover you.
Sure, and that's kind of the traction thing. I'm like, yeah, it's great, but until no one's looking at the website, there's not a whole lot of thing that's going to be going on there. So
exactly, that's why initially when you start a membership website, no matter what you're selling, it's really coming from the point of work with me.
Mhm.
Now, as you get to a certain level of people, 200, 300, that becomes harder and harder to scale. So you'll have to come up with other kinds of strategies, like more lessons, like more automation, like more group coaching instead of one-on-one coaching. But you're at a phase right now where everything you create should be out on YouTube, everything. And eventually you'll pull people in and say, let me do some one-on-one lessons. I got 10 guys coming through this month. Like we do our masterminds in Flip Your Life.
Okay.
If you get 100 people following you, 200 people following you over the next couple months, you get 10 of those people to come in one-on-one, and you learn from them and you help them and you go through a month or two with them, and that helps you get more people down the road.
Okay, good.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
So kind of related to this, or an offshoot of that first question, so it's kind of maximizing effort. The thought of, I want to release a blog post every couple of weeks. I want to have a free lesson on that blog every month. And then also the thought of recording these content for YouTube and getting out there. So it's kind of, how do I maximize my effort? Am I just kind of using that same content in all those different places? Or
yes.
Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know why you're blogging. You can't read a guitar playing.
Okay.
Like, why not just make videos and put that on your blog with the embed and write a description?
Okay.
Don't blog. Don't do one thing really, really good at first. You can't be everywhere until you're somewhere. It's impossible. Jocelyn and I can be in as many places as we want because we have 6 people that work for us. But you can't, and you don't have a following yet. You've got to be in one place. But you can use that one thing everywhere. That's the real trick to it. So if you make your YouTube videos and you release them on YouTube and you write a description, there's nothing stopping you from embedding that in a blog post and writing the description on your site too, to get more traffic. There's nothing wrong with you uploading that to your Facebook group or your Facebook page that you start and using that same video in 20 different places. That's how you're going to leverage your time. Just because somebody else blogs, podcasts, and does YouTube, that does not mean that you have to.
So one of those aha moments. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think that there are places for blog posts on your site. Like if you decide to do that later, maybe like my top 5 favorite guitars or
That's
something
good.
like that. You can write some of that content so that Google will find you more easily. And that's okay, but don't feel like you have to do that. I mean, if you're already making the videos, let's just use that as your main content.
Yeah, what's the most important thing is that's what you always have to ask yourself when it comes to content. For us, like on Flipped Lifestyle, this podcast is the most important thing. It is the only thing that we create. Now, we drop that into a Dropbox folder and it gets turned into show notes. It gets turned into a transcript, which can be a downloadable opt-in. It gets turned into a YouTube video. We go have a team that adds slides to it, and we put that on YouTube. So we can share stuff that we create, audio clips and things on our Facebook page. So we use that one piece of content in a lot of different places. We don't say to ourselves, I've got to create a new YouTube video this week. I've got to create a new podcast this week and a new blog post this week. That would be impossible. In fact, when we send our email out for our podcast, we actually use the show notes copy in the email. So we don't have to write a second email. We just take the show notes and use that in the email that we send out to our followers to let them know there's a new podcast. So leveraging your time is about picking that one thing that your people like and that you love to do or do well and getting it out into multiple places.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that, no wonder I'm feeling like, oh man, how am I going to do all this? But if I'm saying the most important piece is that video, I've done a video on how to tune your guitar. Let's just use that as an example. I put that video on YouTube. I have a link or have that piece of the website mentioned in that video. So maybe they go from the YouTube channel to the website. That's where they're going to see the opt-in, and that's the post.
Yep, that's right. Everything drives you back like that. It doesn't have to be all new stuff to do that.
Yeah, and that same video goes in the membership, and it's kind of video number 1. And if you're in the membership, I've organized it for them, because another thing that happens just with entrepreneurs too, I think, is there's so much information out there. I think that happens with people learning how to play an instrument. There's so much free stuff. Like, where do you even start and who do you listen to?
That's what you sell, right?
I've done that. Okay, I've done that work for them because I've said you come here to get it all in a very easy to follow package.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you're starting to kind of understand the way that it has to work, especially if you're working by yourself at the beginning. There's just no way that you can do all of those things.
Oh yeah. It's a lot. I mean, because I'm still working full time. My wife's working full time. So we want that to eventually change, obviously. But right now, that's what I have to do.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. You just got to pick something and do it as best you can. get some traction, and then you can expand out later. Okay.
So do I do like a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad that kind of directs to that video on the blog?
I think you can, but normally I think that is a mistake too. Like, you're right at the beginning.
Okay.
Like, your only mission right now is to get enough content out there to be found.
Okay.
You know, go ahead and set up the membership area. Go ahead and get the first couple videos in there. It's there. It should be for sale. That's the first thing that should happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to be focused right now on building enough content to support that membership area. And then when that feels comfortable, maybe around the 10th to 20th piece of content, you can start really ramping up promotion of that.
Okay, that was my question. Like, my promoting stuff now are sounds like I'm a little early on the promotion piece. Get the other stuff done first.
Yeah, I would kind of get some stuff out there organically. Let's see what's popular with people. You can see that by your number of views. And I think that even YouTube has some analytics, things like that you can look at. And then once you kind of establish that, then you can start to put some money on those pieces of content that are already coming up organically.
Yeah. We started a YouTube channel last week. We did not promote it. We didn't tell anybody. We uploaded one video, and in 48 hours, it already had almost 100 views. So, and that's because I keyword researched what the title of the video was. It was called Legoland Hotel Review. We went to Legoland. We did a travel review. So I really researched what the top 10, 15, 20 searches were for the Legoland Hotel in Winter Park, Florida. Or was it Winter Haven, Florida?
Yeah, we always get that.
Yeah, Winter
wrong.
Haven, Florida. But we basically put it in position to be found. And it got found organically. Now I'm going to send it out to our email list, and everybody that's listening here or gets the email will discover it eventually. But things will get traction if they're researched properly. Like, if we look up how to tune a guitar and we do the research on it, I'm sure there's a keyword phrase or a way that people are typing that in that might not just be how to tune a guitar. They might be typing in tune a guitar or tune my guitar. How do I tune my guitar? We could find something and really work on those titles and stuff, and we can get you some organic traffic in YouTube, which will then lead clicks to your site, a couple emails, get a little feedback, and then we'll know exactly what to drive traffic to.
Okay, that makes sense. I do the keyword research, but I think my next step is I kind of choose those words that have a lot of hits or where people are searching for it.
Yeah,
but I haven't gone back in the next step and actually looked in what Google searches and what the page looks like for those phrases. So I know I could do much better there.
Yeah, we just had a post last night. Someone was asking about that, and I explained in my example in the forums why a 500 keyword search per month was 10 times better than 1,000 keyword search in this specific example. And we've redone the keyword videos in the training area. Those will be rolled out pretty soon, where you can go in and really get deep into that, how to do that research right to make sure you're targeting words not only that are popular. That's what the first thing is, but can you be on the first page of YouTube or Google? That's what really matters. Okay?
Oh, awesome. Okay.
All
yeah,
right.
That's good.
I think that we have time for one more quick question. What do you have for us?
Okay, so this will be kind of down the road. So I've had put these things in place, kind of gain traction and interest, and eventually have that forum and that membership site open. I've heard a lot of folks talking about a beta membership on either your podcast or in the forums. Is that I have some people come in for free to help me figure out the bugs, or what does a beta membership look like, I guess, is the question.
Okay, that's a good question. As far as letting people in for free, I don't recommend that you do that. Maybe for a limited time they could come in for free. I would prefer to see you sell it at a very discounted cost, and that's what we've always done in the past. So basically, when you start getting your list up, when you start getting people to opt in and they're reading your emails, things like that, you can ask them if they would like to be a part of what's called a beta launch. And basically that just means that you're going to open up your forums or your membership community to people on your list, and they're going to join at a discounted rate, which you will continue for the lifetime of their membership as long as they never quit. And basically the purpose of doing that is so that these people can guide your content. They can come in, they can make sure everything's working okay. They get the benefit of getting a lower rate, and then you get the benefit of having early adopters come into your membership community to test everything out, to guide your content and let you know what it is that they're looking for. And so it's just a really beneficial relationship for both parties.
And basically you're really upfront with them when you do a beta launch. You say, I've not even made everything. I've only made these 3 videos, but I'm planning these 10 over the next 3 months. So they know that everything's not going to be there, but they're getting in for the discount. You tell them, hey, come help me get in the forums, talk, start, my community. They know that there's not going to be a lot of chatter in the forums right away. They know that they're going to be a part of seeding all the conversation in your community. But like Jocelyn said, it's really beneficial to them because if you're eventually going to charge $50 a month for something and they can get in for 20, that's a no-brainer. And the best thing about a beta launch is, let's say you get 20 people for your beta launch, okay? You get them in at a low rate, but when you go live with your public pricing, they're never going to quit because they don't want to quit and have to come back later for double the cost. So the beta group is basically, come break my stuff and tell me what to do next for a while. Mm-hmm. In return, I'll give you massive value and more of a one-on-one relationship than I will be able to give to people down the road.
And you might give me some testimonials out of it.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge benefit of it. You only need 2 to 3 really good testimonials to take a business pretty far. And you can totally get that out of a 10-person beta group.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Well, we hope that was helpful for you today. Some great questions. And I think that the decision that you made to pivot was a good one. Time will tell as you start to build this new business. And we look forward to helping you in our forums. We always ask everyone at the end of our calls, what's something that you plan to take action on, say in the next 24 to 48 hours based on what we talked about here today?
I think I would say it's kind of the shift of putting the videos I'm taping that I thought were just going to be in a locked membership, but no one's seen those, so how would they know to come buy them? So I think it's putting those lessons onto the YouTube channel. So the next thing would be actually uploading. That's what takes the most amount of time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if you get that done today, you're going to see great benefit immediately. Your YouTube channel is going to tick up, and there's going to be people that show up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Kevin, listen, man, I am really proud of you, dude, because you take a lot of action, and you're going about this in the exact right way. You're looking at it, you're testing. If something works, you keep doing it. If something doesn't work, you change something. And usually that's the people we see that eventually get there. And I love this new the avenue for you. I love this new angle. You seem happier. You seem more energetic.
It's
and like you're moving forward now, man. And it's just absolutely awesome to see.
Great. Thanks. Couldn't do without the help from you guys in the community. It's been awesome.
Another awesome call with one of our Flip Your Life community members. To learn more about our Flip Your Life community, head over to fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife, and we can help you with your online business today.
All right, next we are going to move into our Can't Miss Moments segment of the show, and these are moments that we were able to experience recently that we might have missed if we were still working at our regular 9-to-5 jobs. Today's Can't Miss Moment is volunteering at Isaac's school. Not too long ago, they had some testing, and after their testing, depending on what scores they get, they have a wall of handprints where the children can put their handprint on if they receive distinguished scores. Well, I happened to be at the school one day, and there was a lady there volunteering, and she was trying to get all these kids rounded up, but she had no help. And she was dealing with paint cans and lots of primary age students, like kindergarten through second grade. And usually those few things together don't mix very well. So I asked her,
paint and kindergartners. Not a good combination.
Yeah, so I asked her, did she need some help? And she said she would love to have some help. So I was able to take some time off, go up to his school, and I was able to see him actually put his handprint up on the wall for scoring those distinguished scores. And it just means so much to him to have me there at his school and just to support him and be there when he's there. He thinks that's really cool. So I love to be able to go there from time to time and volunteer.
And it's cool just because, this was a friend of ours. She actually was a former neighbor that we used to live beside. And it was nice to know that people can count on us to help them. And we have the time to be able to go and invest into the kids, not just Isaac, but his friends and in the school that he's a part of. So it's really cool to be able to just volunteer in the community and do those things. We would never be able to do that in the past because we would have been at work ourselves. We would have been at school. So outside of that, we would not have been able to do anything like that. Before we go, we like to close every single one of our shows with a verse from the Bible. Today's Bible verse comes from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 3. And the Bible says, "Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people." So make sure you're always building an honest online business that's full of integrity, and you treat people the way you would want to be treated. That's all the time we have for this week. As always, guys, thanks for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. And until next time, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Isn't it amazing how much faster you do things the second time when you go through
yeah.
it? That's why we're so quick about getting people into the process, because we're like, and I always say whenever anyone joins the community, if they're like just starting out, I'm like, just do it, because this probably is not what's going to be successful anyway, but we'll try. you know?
Thank you for listening to this best of edition of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. We would love to help you take your next steps toward your goals. We have a free online business quick start course over at our website at flippedlifestyle.com. This course will help you set big goals and make them happen, find and validate your ideas today, and help you identify and find your perfect customers. Our online business quick start guide is a free resource, and you can get it right now over at flippedlifestyle.com. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com. Head there right now and download your free resource today.